Thank you and good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, first of all, if we talk about value which we bring to our society, we pay our taxes. As we learned in the last weeks, this cannot be said about all our global challenges like the Googles and Apples. And not only do we pay our taxes, we pay them in Europe and not in offshore shelters. And even if you call license fee a sort of tax we are entitled to, one has to say that we are investing this money in teaming up with the creative industries of Europe in order to inform, democratically empower and entertain the societies of our countries. Citizen value instead of shareholder value, being a crucial driver, in particular in Europe, for the creative industries of our countries. In this context, we encouraged the studies similar to the one BBC has carried out by the most reputable economic institute, Research Institute of Austria, and the results were more or less the same, that every single euro you invest or we invest in our television product, for example, it creates another €1.32, so these figures are around that, in value, in growth, in contribution to the gross national product. But furthermore, since we're talking about jobs, one has to say that one single job or for a full-time employee in ORF creates and enables to create another 5 jobs in the Austrian economy, mainly in the sector of the so-called creative industries. So as our activities are essential for the growth in the creative industries overall in Austria. But of course, it's not only about talking about economic value. Our task is, of course, to create public value. European public service media are not aiming to attract target audiences defined by advertising industry. Our goal is to reach the entire population, including ethnic minorities, but also in particular the elderly, those ignored by commercial media strategists. We are not redlining anyone. We are the only universal media service there is. Commercial media, per definition, are forced to be exclusionary. And in particular in times like these, where the society confronted with economic problems gets more and more fragmented, we have to play an even more important role than in the decades before. If public service broadcasters would not exist, one would have to invent them today. Only we can come up with an inclusive daily experience for most of us. We have to try to be the glue to civil life. We have to try to be the basis for well-informed public debate. A second value, which becomes more and more important, is that we deliver privacy. In the emerging world of big data, public broadcasters are a stronghold of privacy. We are not out to collect and data mine your user profile, not to talk about your personal psychological fingerprint, which, for example, IBM distilled out of 90 million Twitter users this year. The Economist has called in his recent issue that there is no hiding place anymore. My company, ORF, we are by far the largest Austrian web property. 2.7 million Austrians use our information services online, but we see them not as profiles, but as human beings we are servicing to best we know. And I am sure that the reason that they use these services is that they trust in our unbiased information, but they also trust in our ethics regarding their privacy, which is something which becomes more and more important in this new media environment. I think, and thank you that has been already said by the Minister and by Mr. Viola, that public service media is indispensable for a European strategy in the fully converged audiovisual world. We have to be able to be active in the relevant fields in this new world. That means, and it was already said by Mr. Heath, that we have to be able to follow our audience from the linear to the non-linear world. We have to be able to follow them into the mobile world, and we have to be able to develop services for the second screens. And we have to be able to communicate with them in the new world of social media. And if we have to be able, that also that means we should be able to react fast and comprehensive to the needs of our audience. And that means that thinking about a new media world, we also have to think about the system of the ex-ante test, which, as it exists in many countries now, and which was a suitable instrument developing public service media maybe in the last years. But we have learned that it is very difficult to react fast enough and comprehensive enough to the needs of our customers, of our societies, and to fulfill our task for our audiences if we have to wait 6, 12, or 18 months until we can offer a new signature product to our audiences. Competing with global players who act without or almost without regulation will neither be possible for the heavily regulated commercial broadcasters of Europe, nor by the maybe in certain areas over-regulated public service media. If adequate regulatory framework and proper funding will be provided, strong public service media will be able to contribute a substantial economic and public value to a fully converged media world of the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.